Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the show. This episode is brought to you by The Wellness Paradigm, a holistic health coaching company shifting the way that women understand and heal their bodies. Through bioenergetic testing, functional lab testing, and nutrition, we uncover what traditional approaches often overlook, so you can stop guessing, start healing, and finally feel like yourself again. No more one-size-fits-all protocols, just real answers, deep-rooted healing, and the clarity and confidence you deserve to feel incredible. It's time to shift the paradigm of women's health. Now on to our show. And today, guys, I have a very special guest, Maria.
Hello.
Uh, guys, I'm so excited and honored that she is here. Maria is absolutely incredible at what she does, and I we were joking, like even trying to intro her is just like doesn't even do it justice on what she really does. But she does incredible energetic optimization and performance optimization for clients across really all walks of life. And she helps them remove invisible interference that really blocks their growth, their productivity, and one thing that I personally love about Maria, among many, is she really blends this beautiful energy work with this very logical brain work. And I know we have so many people on this show that are all walks of energy healing, and um, so many people that listen to this podcast are entrepreneurs and, high end, not high end, just a lot of very logical brain people that are trying to understand this energy work and really how powerful it can be when you hone into it. So, Maria, would love to know a little bit more about you, how you got into this work. Tell us more.
All right. Well, hello everyone. Shannon, thank you for having me. Love you,
Mhm.
girl. So I got into this work very reluctantly. I should say that. I have a clinical background. I was just a very secular upbringing, okay, immigrant parents,
Mhm.
very intellectual family. And I was all pre-med, sciences, biology, chemistry. Put me in that orgo lab, baby. Let's go, Bunsen burners. Woo! Okay. And I had a health crisis. And it started really when I was a teenager, and then it went into my early 20s, and it started with physiological symptoms that I couldn't explain. It was generally, it moved into like mental health symptoms, but
Mhm.
it's all related.
Oh, yes.
And Western medicine could not help me.
Mhm.
I mean, it could fix a little bit here and there. I did discover music therapy in the process, which I then went on to study and get, my license in. But and it helped tremendously, of course, because it was using the voice and it was a somatic experience and I always say music therapy is energy work, okay?
Yeah.
And it was a very powerful healing tool for me. But it wasn't until I discovered alternative methods of healing, which I did not believe in
Mm.
until I experienced it
Yep.
at a retreat when I was 25. I fought with the retreat host the whole time. I mean, he is like a man completely at peace. Like I was just, a screaming toddler. But I did. I was just like, prove it to me,
Yeah.
prove it to me, prove it to me. I
Mhm.
wanted to see the facts. And all it took was like one phrase he told me. And it wasn't just the one phrase because we had been doing energy work all weekend, right? I had been priming my body. We're doing these like energetic exercises
Mhm.
and like moving energy with my body that felt really good, but I was like, whatever. It's like doing yoga or I just thought it was, you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
didn't think it was anything. And, but then he hit me with, you are not your history. Like you are whatever you decide you are. And I mean, my whole life changed in that moment. I mean, like
Mhm.
really in that moment. And it
Mhm.
wasn't just because he said that. It's because we had been doing energy work the whole time. And I didn't believe in it, and it still worked. Okay? I did not believe in it. I thought I was just chilling in Costa Rica on a mountain somewhere.
Mhm.
Somewhere my parents were like, you need to go here. My mom, okay? And I went and it worked. So again, against my own volition to some extent, fighting the whole time, it still worked. And from that moment, because the way that my brain works and how I love to intellectualize things and how I love doing deep research, I just couldn't get enough. That's when I started to dig. I was like,
Yeah.
this thing, it was 1 week of my life and it changed what years, almost a decade of medical intervention could not.
Hmm. Yep.
I was a convert. What I discovered was that part of that mental health crisis I was having was an intuitive awakening. They couldn't put a name to it, and they were like, "Oh, we think you're schizophrenic, but you actually can't be because you're too lucid." And I'm like, "I'm hallucinating, so like, you guys figure this out." And it turns out that I had gifts, which sounded crazy to me. But once I discovered what intuition was, like what it even mean after this retreat that I got, that had changed my entire life. I suddenly felt great. I was vibrant. I had cancer cells on my cervix that were gone. All of a sudden,
Hmm.
I mean, my gynecologist literally went to his files, brought it out, like with the scope. I mean, he was like, I need to leave the room, came back, looked at the pictures, looked at me and said, "What have you done?"
Yeah.
It was 4 weeks of difference.
Wow.
Okay, 4 weeks. And um, I had, I just started doing this deep dive and I had said, okay, well, let me figure this out. If it's my intuition, can I turn it on? Can I turn it off? And I started to play with it.
Yeah.
Just understanding, because my understanding of the body, of the mind, and like my senses, I just started to play because there was no pressure. I was just low stakes doing it. And once I started playing with my intuition, discovering that, I had a hunger to start seeing if it worked with other people. And
Mm.
I combined my deep knowledge of energy work that I'd gotten really hungry about and dug up and put that all that intel together with my intuitive work and started doing sessions. Okay. And guess what? They worked. I just knew certain things about people, their needs, what was going on with them, whether it was health, wealth, relationships, didn't really matter across the board. And lo and behold, I was able to impact their bodies, their mind, their spirit, and their external life
Mhm.
through moving energy. And that's how it started. And I've just been on that beautiful roller coaster ever since.
Uh, that's awesome. It's funny because without getting too much into my story, that was similar on how I got into bioresonance,
Yep.
right?
I know. We
You
talked
know,
about
and being in the energy world, how I came into Maria's world is she was one of my mentors, and I was like this logical, lab-brained chick, and then all these people doing this crazy breath work, speaking light language. I'm like, what the hell's going on? You know, and but once you see the power that energy healing has, you can't look back.
you
You
can't
can't see
unsee
it.
it. You
You can't unsee
cannot.
it. And that's when I started just figuring out, like, well, I don't have these real gifts. I mean, you'll disagree with me, but
Every time.
but
Every time.
different kinds of gifts. But but now I use equipment to tap into essentially what a lot of other people can do more, intuitively. But with my, I guess, intuitive gifts, I
Mhm.
feel like you want to smack me across the video, but
No, everyone
you
has
know.
their journey. I try to be respectful, but
But it's true. You just like when you see the power, like even bioresonance, even so, it's like you don't like it helps to believe in it, but that doesn't mean that things can't still shift. And when you see
100%.
that, like it's like I had one client that refused to believe bioresonance did anything, and I remember being like she had cried like a horrible diarrhea. Well, we were talking about pooping, pooping before.
Yeah, poop is a
And
big part.
literally did a remote thing, stopped completely. She's like, I don't know what you did, but she got a session for her husband. She got a session for. She's like, I don't understand it. I don't need to understand it anymore. I believe you. I'm like, and same with energy work. It's like people sometimes it's like it's hard when you need that data, but sometimes you just feel different, which I'd love for you to explain a little bit more. How do you
Mhm.
explain intuition to people in a way that makes sense to people that are skeptical or just like very hung up logical?
Oh, totally. So I always start with intuition is absolutely part of human life. Okay. I
Hmm.
know it's considered to be something more esoteric, but in your intuitive channels are all in your body, and there are actually clinical terms
Yeah.
for those intuitive, parts, right? So you have
Hmm.
your inner vision, right, which is the clairvoyance. You have audiation, which is clairaudience. That's hearing something that isn't like not externally being produced, right?
Hmm.
Somatic experiencing, interoception, which is clairsentience, right? Interoception is the process in the body where the nerves on your organs are sending sensory data to your brain. So it's not something touching you out here. And it's not like when your baby kicks you. It's a sensation you're having in an organ and not necessarily being produced by some contact.
Mm,
Okay? That's already happening. We know that's happening. Okay? Somatic experiencing. You can imagine sun on your skin. You can imagine feeling water. You can imagine and bring happiness to the forefront. You can create
mm,
through somatic experiencing different states. Okay? That's
mm,
clairsentience. That's picking up and creating with sensation. All right? Clear olfaction is smelling remotely, right? Which I always use memory, long-term memory, neutral memory, short-term memory, to trigger these in people. So it's
mm,
like your favorite perfume, the smell of your favorite soap, the smell of coffee. Even if you can't smell it, you can tell that you're smelling it. Okay.
mhm.
Clairgustance. Clarifaction is also called clairalience. Clairgustance is taste. So, if I tell you to think about lemons or drinking lemons, your salivary glands start to go.
Mhm.
Okay? Your body is picking up on taste profiles that aren't physically there. That's
Mm.
what it is, right? And cognizance, which is that deep inner knowing, it's when you read studies, it says that gut feeling, like
Yeah.
an inner knowing. So parapsychology, which is the field where most of these things are studied, it's not necessarily a well-respected field, but it is a well-studied field. And maybe the esoteric language isn't something that speaks to you, but there's no denying that we can pick up in our bodies things that are not in our immediate physical environment.
Yeah.
So that's typically how I explain it to people who are like, what are you talking about? You're going to start speaking in tongues, things like that. I'm like, no, no, none of that. Very logical over here.
Yeah. Yeah. No, what was the thing that Mariko did?
The light language, the astral
But like
travel, the astral
astral therapy. Yes.
astral therapy.
That was fun intro. But yes, it's, when you talk about intuition, I feel like one of the most common things that you hear probably is like, I don't trust my intuition. Like, I feel like I've lost it. And so like, how do I learn to trust it? And what is the difference? My big question is always like, well, what is the difference between this intuition and anxiety? Like, how do
hmm
I know what to trust, right?
So intuition is always neutral and it's
Mm.
always gentle. When I discuss energy work, we were talking a little bit before this, I'm not terribly romantic, okay, about it. Because for me, it's very tangible and it's very matter of fact. So when you're experiencing sensations that look and or feel like, or you're interpreting as urgency or force, okay? Hesitation or fear, which anxiety can look like any of those, okay? Yearning of any kind. I want it, I need it. Yearning is like very commonplace. It's very normalized, it's socialized. Shame, blame, resentment, bitterness, disappointment, these sensations are all energies that are not your intuition. Okay. That's the kind of thing that you want to say. You don't want to identify with that. It can just move through you. It's an energy, it just moves through you. I always tell my clients and anyone who will listen, we are of the earth. We are the macro or the micro of the macro, right? The earth has all kinds of flora and fauna, all kinds
Mhm.
of energies, different waves of light and sound. We are the same. We have lots of weird bugs and stuff in us too. We have all kinds of critters living in us, right?
Yes.
Very diverse, our bodies. So we're going to pick up a lot of stuff along the
Mm.
way, right? Would I look at planet Earth if there's like a fungus on the trees in my yard and I'm going to be like, give it meaning? No, it's just a fungus that it needs a host. That's it. So it's eating the trees. That's all it is. I can make meaning of it, or I could just resolve, like, take care of it. And then I have all this energy available to me to make meaning in the things that matter to me. So when we talk about energetic optimization, it, the kind of flowery language or romantic side of it in my world is I want you to reclaim energy, right? Vital energy, because all these things that I said aren't your intuition, they're like parasites. They just need a host. That's all it is. It's just I can see it on your in your field. It looks like a stain. All right. It's utilizing your energy to stay alive. That's all it is. It's not personal. They don't care that you're Susan, born in 1967, whatever. Like they're it's just a host, just like the fungus on the trees.
Yep.
And so if you were to reclaim that energy, because that bug, it's making you tired. It's taking your focus, you're burning the midnight oil on your resentment, on the bitterness, on the anxiety, on the hesitation, whatever it is. Imagine you reclaim that and you could focus it on your business, connecting with people, picking up a hobby,
Hmm.
planning a trip, just like literally anywhere else you want it. Okay. So all that energy, which looks like time for the record,
Mm.
it
Yeah.
looks like time tangibly. When you think of disease, think of the time taken away. And when you have health, you get time back,
Hmm.
right? And valuable time. So you get that energy back and you put it in, it looks like time, into the things that you want to put it into. So if it's anxiety talking, that's not your intuition. Intuition is going to feel completely neutral. There's no urgency, there's no force. Even if it's urgent, like sometimes it'll be like, don't cross the street, don't turn like into that lane, whatever it is. Sometimes people describe getting gripped by something and it feels like a stern no. The resonance of it doesn't have anxiety. Like imagine something that's very certain, right? Like when you were young, if you had a parent who was very boundaried, there's a part of you that was like, well, I hate this because I'm not getting my way. But we also know, clinically speaking, that there's also a really important safety net created within the child when there's a firm boundary, right? I might be upset that I can't eat cookies for dinner, okay? Because why? I should have whatever I want, and that's a healthy part of being a human being. But then there's
Hmm.
a lot of safety in a consistent, steady, calm structure. And
Hmm.
intuition may seem like flow, right? It's like, oh, this willowy, whatever, but it actually creates the best structure for your life. The most certain, standard, very, very neutral. We talk about nervous system, relaxed nervous system,
Hmm.
that kind of structure for your life.
Mm. I love that you mentioned kind of weaving in health to this too, because
Yeah.
my God, especially when you're working with high performing people, right? I
Mhm.
mean, they will ignore any warning signs of their body in an effort to keep going.
100%. A hundred
And
percent.
yeah, it's so tough, and it's tough to sometimes help them understand this, this integral part of their health journey, that it isn't just like that you mentioned a parasite. God, the amount of parasite posts on the damn internet. Everybody's like, this is my problem. I have a parasite. This is why I have all these problems. When we look at bioresonance, yeah, we see a lot of parasites. But why is your body so susceptible and
A
so
hundred percent.
energetically depleted that you keep getting this parasitic infection, right? So
Yeah, there's an energetic parasite that preceded
literally,
the parasite. Yeah.
literally. And they're like, no, but I just have to, and they just keep killing it and killing it and killing it. I'm like, no wonder you're not getting better. It's not the parasite.
Mm-mm.
It's so much deeper than that. And when you can address that, it's not just the symptom, like low energy is probably a big one you deal with clients, right?
Hmm.
All day long, it's like, suddenly everything just starts getting better.
Everything
In their
starts
life,
getting
their
better.
business, health, wealth, everything.
And I have found, like, I had a client who we wrapped up in January. We worked together for 3 months, and when he came, started working with me, I mean, he was like, I think I'm dying. He's
Yeah.
69.
Mm.
And he had these chronic digestive issues and there's no energy, and then these
Mhm.
chronic prostate issues. And of course, he's getting, for me, it's very important. People need to get their blood work, like especially if I'm working on health outcomes. I in medicine, we know the power of like functional,
Mhm.
and I worked in care management. I've worked in hospitals. You want the doctors and specialists talking to each other. We want a full picture
100%.
of the ecosystem of a person's health. So
Mhm.
me intuiting something alone I just don't do that.
Yep.
Okay. I don't work alone when it comes to health. We have to have other people involved, and I want to see the data too, right? Because
Mhm.
also I got a client that had cancer, and she's getting blood work every 3 weeks, and it was amazing because then I could see the like what are the cancer markers, where like
Yeah.
I can actually target the work, right? Which is
Mhm.
very similar to bioresonance, right? Like you can
Mhm.
change the formula
Mhm.
given what the data shows.
Mhm.
So he was getting all of this looked at, especially with the prostate,
Mhm.
and but it all stemmed from generational stuff. It
Oh,
stemmed from early childhood. It stemmed from relational things and his creative capacity, like his center of creative power and vitality being drained. And as soon as he got his vitality back,
yeah. Mhm.
all of the pain was gone.
I'm laughing because I'm at this bridge of intersection with like labs, functional work, nutrition, and bioresonance, right? So I do
Hmm.
both, which is great. But people come in not knowing bioresonance or energy work, right? And they'll
Hmm.
come in with digestive issues is, one of the biggest things we work with, right? It's like, well, I have stomach pain. I'm like, okay, tell me about your mom. Like,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
no, that's not my problem. It's the parasite. I think I have right? And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah. What happened? I mean, well, you did a sexual. Like, it's so much more when people understand and bridge that they heal quicker because it's not anything that any supplement's gonna freaking heal you with, right? That
No,
can be helpful and it can be supportive, but it's not really the only thing. The reason you're
no.
unhealthy is not because you're deficient in, you know, some supplement I'm gonna give you, right? That's just
Yeah,
because you have a problem.
100%. And, we are electrical
Yeah.
beings, right? Like we are electric,
Mhm.
and we conduct energy, like electricity and
Yeah.
energy, and we burn energy. We are energetic beings by our nature. The planet is polar. Our cells are polar.
Mhm.
Why would they be polar if they didn't have energy moving through them? Like it's like a battery. Like that's what it does. That's just what it does. Like,
Mhm.
the leaves absorb sunlight and they take and that's just what it does. So when I think about energy work, and don't get me wrong, I'm a very spiritual person. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a very spiritual person, and energy work is very tangible to me
Mhm.
because it's just what we are. We just conduct energy. So because energy always comes first, by the time something is dense, by the time we're seeing the matter, there's a trail. Like it's been around. That's what people don't realize is that when we go back in time, when we ask about mom, when we ask about grandma, when we're talking about things from early childhood, it's because in order for it to have condensed into the matter in your body or externally, but let's start in the body, it's been around.
Mhm.
Okay. It's been around. So, and again, it's created over time, and then it consumes your time. All right.
Mhm.
Uh, and if time isn't tangible, I don't know. Like we feel time. We know time with it. It doesn't exist and we create it and we live by it. So when you think of energy levels, time, these things that seem intangible to you, right? But that literally define everything. Like your energy, like how much energy you have in a day determines your day.
Oh yeah.
Okay? How much time you have in your day determines your day. Okay? As both moms of two kids, like we know.
Oh yeah.
Okay? Acutely. So I always say, okay, if we're going to take the analogy, look how true it is that things that we cannot see determine so much of how
Mhm.
we live. So why
Mhm.
not try the energy work?
Yeah.
Okay. And I always, I mean, typically when I'm working with people, I'm not the only person that
Yeah.
they work with, right? So I'm not saying only work with me. We want to see a full picture, especially if it's health related, like if it's something that's impacting your life in a very serious way, then it's going to take more than just me and you, you know?
Mhm.
It's good to do a multi-pronged approach.
Oof, I talk about that all the time. It's not me or your doctor, me or it's and, right? It is, energy work
It supplements. Uh-huh.
and so
100%.
whatever it might be, it's not an either or, it's an and. That's what I tell people all the time because it's important to have that. And you don't have to be like, well, I own this is what we could go on a whole nother rant that we won't. It's not, oh, I only do energy healing. Oh, I only like functional lab testing. I
No,
only
no,
like
no.
right. It's like, when you experience this multifaceted approach is when you truly heal because that is mind, body, spirit. And that, compartmentalizing is not going to get you to where you want to be. Like,
100%. And I'll tell you something, as someone who obviously, I mean, I obviously prioritize energy work, but like Western medical intervention is required sometimes. Like that's fine.
absolutely.
I do not vilify
Hmm.
healing modalities.
Yep.
Like there is a place. There is
100%.
a place for everything. Okay. I had a back injury 2 weeks ago. I gave myself whiplash, Shannon. I went to the chiropractor and they said, "Were you in a serious accident?" And I said, "No, I ignored this for a long time
Oh.
and then didn't sleep and then traveled and then had to like shovel my way into my garage at 11 p.m. after traveling. And a couple things happened and now I'm here. Okay? Because it wasn't just one thing. It
Oh, no.
was a number of things and me avoiding it for a long time. And I just have so much to do. Like it was inconvenient, you know?
Yeah.
And I I didn't hadn't taken Advil in 17 years.
My God.
Like this, I just had not. I think over the past, for a long time, I was so focused on just doing things energetically, which helped me in my practice. Okay. Because if I
Mhm.
can do it for me, I can do it for you.
Mhm.
Um, but I'm moving. I am launching. I am preparing for an in-person event. I have two children. I have a birthday party for my 5-year-old this weekend. Like there's a lot
A lot going
happening
on.
right now. And I was like, I need an anti-inflammatory and a steroid shot. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll take the homeopathic stuff I got from the chiropractor. And I'll go to the chiropractor twice a week. Okay.
Yep.
And I'm going to do Pilates. And I'm going to increase, like hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Okay. I'm going to I'm going to do all of it because this needs to be resolved.
Yeah.
Okay. It
Hmm.
needs to be resolved. And so even as someone who prefers the homeopathic route, whatever. Sometimes, especially for structural stuff, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like, don't
girl.
come to me with a broken arm. Go to the ER. You know what I mean? Wartime medicine, emergency medicine, it's important. Okay.
Yep.
Go get the splint. Okay.
Yep.
I move? I've put clients' ribs back in remotely. I've done crazy stuff, okay? But I still tell them to go to the chiropractor,
Yeah.
okay? I still tell them, go get this check, go because it'll slip back out.
Yeah.
Okay, if you're out, you're like, I had another client. I was like, your hips are your pelvis. It's like almost like they're facing two different directions. You got one going that way, one going this way. I'll put the rib back in. I'll fix the pinching right now and I'll reduce the pain because I can do that all remotely. But I need you to go to the chiropractor tomorrow. And she did. And then it didn't happen again. Okay? Because we took care of the energy, but we also took care of the structural bit.
100%. I'm so glad you're saying that.
Hmm.
Because it is important to understand both. And
Yeah.
that, there's so many different modalities to heal, and you don't have to pick one side or the other.
No, 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 no. And if anything, if we bring it back to intuition, we bring it back to energetics, that black and white thinking is an example of you not being intuitive, you
Mm,
not reading and optimizing your life and having the most energy available to you because that's very draining.
hmm
How do we do black and white in a world with so much gray? It's
hmm
very stressful.
Yes.
It's it's very stressful and very limiting. And if you're a person who has high output, who is a creative, right? Someone you've got to have range.
Yep.
So black and white thing is not going to work for you. Just saying.
Yeah. It's hard to shift that because as you mentioned, it's not just now, it's also what you've carried for generations,
A hundred percent.
That's hard to shift that.
And what I say to that is it's a practice. And we were talking
100%.
about this earlier.
Mhm.
Energy, I think a lot of the time people think energy work, oh, I'll just go and I'll heal it forever and I'll never come back ever again.
Yep.
And I say, maybe,
Yep.
maybe if the stars were aligned and everything else, what will work is if we work together and then you also do it.
Yeah.
You use the practices that then compound
Yep.
because I can't live your life for you.
Oh, I get that all the time. This one
Okay.
bioresonance session didn't change my entire life. And well, no, because you're still eating McDonald's every day. And I can only do so much. I mean, that's dramatic, but I'm not, but it's true.
I mean,
You
their
got,
burgers don't decompose.
yeah,
So, that's a problem.
that
Okay.
could be a
100%.
problem.
Yeah.
But
100%.
yeah, it's amazing, and Maria, it is truly incredible some of the things that you have done and the transformations that you've worked with clients. So, if people wanted to figure out more about what you do
Mhm.
and, check you out a little bit more, where can they locate you?
So I am on social media. Okay. You can find me on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook. I have a website where you can check out my passive offers. I have exercises, meditations, courses, an intuitive development course, manifestation kind of energetics course, very intro, really accessible for the
Mm-hmm.
person for whom this stuff is not super familiar. Okay. So you can go there, check out my website, workwithmariaabramovich.com. And I work with people one on one. I do single sessions. I do packages for people. Like I always tell people, I'll do a single session with you. It's a really good assessment,
Yeah.
but my work is deep. If we want to continue, we're continuing in a package. And then
Mm-hmm.
I have some very exciting things coming in this next quarter and then over the summer. So stay tuned, people.
Mm-hmm. Well, by the time this comes out, maybe it'll be on your website that people can see
Oh
more.
yeah, it'll be up. It'll be up.
Perfect.
So go on
Perfect.
my website. I've got programs and so much more coming.
Amazing. Well, I will put her information down in the show notes, guys, so you guys can check out her website, check out her social media, and just appreciate you being here, sharing your wisdom and tools and knowledge with all of us. And thank you, listeners, of course, for being here too. And we'll catch you on the next show.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Maria.
Thank you.